Well, here we go. Oops. I'm I'm sending to you this, I'm doing this live in Maryland, where my niece lives. I'm helping her for a couple of weeks. And I didn't bring my usual huge arrangement and microphones and props and whatnot because it was just too much to drag around. Anyway, so I'm here and I'm transmitting live to you there. Good morning, Wayne Comer. How nice that you're here. I'm tickled pink. I'm looking forward to seeing questions in here and whatever works for you. Submit your questions. There's no bad questions. The questions that you need answers to are the questions you need to ask. And so really don't fret because that's what all we're doing here is being human beings, trying to live the best lives we can and live as judiciously and responsibly as possible. Um, so I do these lives for free. Good morning, Lisa Davis. Hello, beautiful. And I'm going to take the responsible. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Um, I'm gonna put my Ko-Fi, buy me a cup of coffee, link in here. And that didn't show up when I thought it was going to. Okay. Here we go. It should be here. And as I wait for your questions, I'm putting the link in to the place where you can make a contribution if you feel like you got an answer that was useful to you and helpful. Um, Please send me a tip. I mean, I do this for a living. I've been doing it for a living for, geez, since 2010. And I've been channeling since 1988. So this is a way of being for me, and it's putting the gifts that I've been given to work for you because it's really all about you and can I help all of you to get answers to your questions. And I'm also managing Zoom and Facebook and all that stuff. So trying to get Facebook to show me any questions. How are you feeling the energies lately? Like this morning at the live video on my personal page where I do a channeled guided meditation, the great creatress, the supreme divine female came in and led us through a process and spoke to us. And it was quite enriching. She really acknowledged the energies that are here these days that say to me, everything that we put in play for the last 10 years or so is really coming to fruition now. And so manifesting that it's is the point. And maybe you're feeling a little halting feeling like sometimes when I was trying to manifest, I'd be like, I don't know if I deserve to ask for this or if I'm asking correctly or shouldn't this happen in just such a way, and it's like that. So let's see. And so the divine female, the great creatress, as my Akashic beings of light like to call her, say that things are coming to fruition now. And so I'd like for you to be able to access that, the fruits of your labors, and clear what might be in the way. Okay, Lisa says, thanks for making space for questions. I feel like I'm so close to a new level of peace and happiness. Like I can almost dial in fragile space. And the question is, how can I fully drop into that? Well, I'm going to look at the energy and how that looks and feels. I left my teacup in the other room. Dang. Let's see. So she's showing the divine's showing me the palms of your hands. And like when you put your hands together and rub them like this, really concentrating on the circles in each palm of the hand and moving those together. Um, and know that you are like warming that space. And you might even find that as you rub your palms together, you're feeling that tentative space open up and become a lot much larger, richer, fuller energetic space inside of you. And yes, I see you dropping into the truth of who you are in a way bigger way and much more personal authority. You know, when we let go of old people, old behaviors, old thoughts that have been kind of holding us back or making us I know, go grab your tea, making us feel as if we are not aligned or we're in doubt. That's a little brake pad on, you know, it's like, come here, go away, come here, I'm a doubt, come here, but I don't think you're gonna come here, but I don't think you're gonna. That's my doubt. So when I do this and I feel it in the trunk of my body, you know, all of this starts opening up and strengthening and setting up. And as you know, you're not tolerating some things that you used to tolerate or behaving in old ways, like saying yes when you really are like, you're just going to spend this on booze and or drugs or God knows what else. And, you know, I'm not really wanting to authorize that or add to that or anything like that. Uh, you're really wanting to change how you respond in life, and you're doing it. And your intuition is strong, really, really strong. And yes, I'm going to go grab my tea because my throat's a little scratchy. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Tea in hand. I'm very happy about this. Thank you. Um, and this is this energy of feeling like you're in on the brink of a new shift. This is really strong right now. It was very strong for me, like throughout September. Like something's changing, and I don't have a grip on how can I maximize it? How can I access it? How can I encourage it? How can I fertilize this? Um, and my experience is that just being in the energy you've got and saying hello to it and acknowledging it has a way of bringing it forth in more stillness and more strength. There's a strength in stillness. Have you noticed that? And I don't mean like when you're stuck in an eddy, like you're trying to get out, you're trying to punch up, you're trying to punch sideways, get out, get out of the jail or the limitation that you're experiencing. Um, yeah, what a treat, Annie. That is the best thing of the day. Remind me not to do stuff I don't like to do. Yeah, baby. Why do you think we don't like to do it? And I don't mean it's because we have to face our fear so much as we may be being redirected when it's like that's not where the energy wants to go. When energy flows easily and effortlessly, then we're in tune, we're in sync, we're matching the energy that's there. When we are trying to box our way out and fight our way out and struggle our way out, then we're really swimming upstream and we're fighting the current because the current isn't going the easy way. And in my experience, when I'm in the flow, then I'm being carried by the current, and it's a lot less effortful. And one of my teachers used to say, do the most joyful thing first, especially when you have a big list of, ick, I don't want to do that. Taxes? Are you kidding me? And you know what? I did my taxes really late, thinking I'm going to owe and be penalized and whatever. I don't owe anything. And so, really, there's nothing to penalize me for because I just finally got them done. Anyway, but it's like when the gates open and the flood waters go that way, it carries you in that direction. That means the energy is ripe. That's the terms that Anubis used. The energy is ripe. And so why not go and do the things that are the most fun, the lowest hanging fruit, as my sister likes to say. You know, I why not do those things first? Because we were not put on this earth just to suffer or to work at things that we don't really like. And that to me is a misnomer left over from the um, the early United States settlers who came from a strong religious background and wanting more religious permission. And they made things more difficult, like if you're not suffering, we'll give you some more work so you can suffer with us. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So Cheryl says, "Good morning, Annie from sixth grade science camp." All right. Good for you. Well, I'm in Maryland and it's not science camp, it's more like sociology camp and learning how to work with these kids and that are my niece's children, and I adore them, and they're all such individuals and beautiful, and they know who they are, and just really giving them room to be. And and it's very different for me. I don't know where anything is. You know, I'm from Northern California. Um, so sixth grade science camp. Are you learning anything? Are you teaching anything? How are you participating? Or are you just making sure that the kids are okay at science camp, which I think your son must love. It's great. Um, so back to the great creatress channeling this morning at the 7:30 Pacific time guided meditation. She was really authorizing us to be in the change that we are in and be in the way that the energy's setting up. And to me, this looks like a divine portal that's sort of shaped wider at the bottom, narrower in the middle, and wide again at the top, kind of a toroidal field idea, if you know that term. And it started out as being just dots, as if the dots were intersections, but no lines in between, just where the energy intersected showed up as a dot. And so it was the shape made of dots that came in and opened up and widened at the top. And then as that the image began to take more of a solid form, the lines started connecting and a grid work started being shown to me. And now it's being shown as a diamond pattern rather than just like vertical and horizontal lines. It's more of a diamond pattern with the dots at each of the corners and building this toroidal field energy. And as I went in it, and now the crown of my head is almost feeling hot. So I know I'm on an energetic path that makes sense. Um, uh, then there was like a paper top ceiling to it, and I had to kind of punch my way through it, and I got it through it and came out, and I could sit on the rim of the upper edge and look out and see space and be outside of the limitations. But inside that narrowing and expanding field was an interesting growth of allowing the energy to set up until I could, it lifted me, it sucked me up like a gentle elevator, and finally just breaking through the top end and sitting on the rim and being like, okay, now I got it. And it was a whole new level of confidence and clarity. Confidence and clarity. So Lisa says, does Anubis guide through the death of ideas, relationships, or situations, or is Anubis involved in just life passing? Well, Anubis is around for all of it, and he witnesses all of it. So yes, yes, and yes. Anubis does, and in my experience, guide me through the death of ideas and releasing that which has been and letting it move off into the zone called we call past or past time. Um, and and then allowing myself to be a space that brings in the new as it starts to be fulfilled in me or fleshed out in me. And, watching the energy as it shifts and feeling the changes in the energy as it shifts and seeing the energy as it shifts, I'm witnessing it. And that is Anubis taking me through that energy. That's Anubis clarifying that and elaborating on that energy and enhancing it so it's more easily recognizable by my human self, and by the client's um, abilities. And I really mean it by sensing the energies and using your sense of knowingness and witnessing it as energy. Maybe it's a feeling or a vision, or you get a symbol that represents it. And the shape, I think, is important because it draws from the bottom, this big playing field down here up into the narrowing area and then out through the top where it widens. There you go. And you feel that in your crown chakra? Yeah, this is your sense of knowing speaking, and it's all right to know what you know and to believe what you're being shown or uh, be in alignment and agreement with what you're being shown, what's being demonstrated to you. It's fine. You're doing great. Not knowing is all right as well. And there's sort of a leap of faith that happens in there. And as you express, okay, I'm just going to go with this, not knowing where this is going, what's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to work out. Just going to go with the ride. Just dedicate yourself to the process, be in the moment. That's you're just volunteering to be an active participant and observer of the process as it is evolving in you. And it'll evolve in you in whatever ways are accurate for you. If you see images, if you feel energy, if you just have this sense of knowing, this seems to be what's happening. My sense of knowing says that thus and so is happening. So Lisa says, I get it better now. Thank you. Learning how to live as my soul feels like I'm trying to focus blurry eyes. Exactly. And do you notice that sometimes focusing has to do with either zooming in on it or zooming out from it and allowing the picture to flesh out itself out, or more details to be brought forth, kind of like a Polaroid photograph begins to develop in front of your eyes. It takes on more and more detail and more color as time goes on, and letting that just come into apparent focus. And when I was studying very little about how to aid my vision and strengthen my vision, some of the exercises were to focus on my thumb out here and, where does it go blurry? Where is it doubled up? Where is it, not accurate, and then focus my eyes in on that, and then release my focus and soften my focus and let it go blurry, and then focus in on it again where it is it become clear, and let go of that and let it be fuzzy. Going from that fuzzy to clarity. And it may change every time because you're watching energy, which is always, always in motion. It never really sits still. Um, and I'm excited to say it's getting easier with practice. That's great to hear. That's what it is. It's really new skills. It's practice. It's simply practice. I've been practicing doing readings for a long, long time. And when I first was doing it, I was so guessing my way through it and just going, "Well, I don't know what I'm seeing. I'm getting this image of, a lady who's just a set of red lips in like a black and white photo, but all that was illuminated was the lips." And I had to ask the client, which I thought was, geez, you're not supposed to ask the client for information. You're supposed to be telling the client the information they need. Well, I had asked the client, what does this mean something to you? And the guy said, oh, yeah. My mother would get out of bed, put on her lipstick, and then put on her bathrobe. Like that was the order of business with her. Always, always lipstick first. So then we knew we're talking about his mom. His mom was appearing for some reason. And then the reading went on and, it flowed out from there. But, it's all right to ask questions. Even if you're in your Akashic records and you're getting a vision of something that's sort of mysterious, like, well, tell me what this means. Help me understand what you're showing me. Help me get a sense of knowing about what is being revealed to me in my Akashic records. We have the right to ask questions because questions are the, you know, the can openers to consciousness and to knowingness and to information and energy. And if if we're on a journey and we're growing and we're gaining in ability and we're bringing in more energy and information, we're going to have to ask questions. It's fine to ask questions. That's not a wrong thing. Um, does does Anubis guide through death of ideas? Yes. Does Anubis guide through the death of relationships? Yes. Listen, all of us have had relationships die, crash, um, kind of expire or wither. We've all been through that. And there was learning to be had in those experiences. And why not? Why would the great creatress or the divine in charge not utilize everything as a learning tool? Why would my soul, who planned this particular life and a lot of these major events in my life, specifically death of ideas, relationships, and situations, um, why wouldn't my soul use the death of these things as a learning device? A teaching device so that I can evolve and grow and expand and become even more one with my soul and the divine. Um, yeah, I think it's fun. This is my idea of a good time. I'm so glad that y'all are here to ask questions, and I do want to hear everything that anybody needs to know. Um, it's because this is great. Cheryl, how's it going, like in science camp? Is there anything you need to know? Are you feeling good about the teachers and the situation and how your sons are responding to it? I assume you're there with your son, unless you just decided to go to sixth grade teachers camp because you could. Why not? I mean, science is such an interesting topic. It's a great way to look at life and pull things apart and have new experiences. Um, it's getting easier with practice. And as I practiced channeling and staying linked with my guide and hearing the authentic words and describing these experiences to the client, and responding as my guide, letting my guide channel the energy and the words through me and trusting that flow. I spit out one or two or three or four words, and then the next words are showing up, and the next words are showing up, and the next words are showing up, and just trusting it as it came through, word by word, moment by moment, energy by energy. It it really taught me how to just stay in there, stay on track, keep following the energy, because that's where the magic happens. And so whenever I look at what's the energy doing, and that's because I want to know what's the energy doing, because that's what you're wanting to know. Because the question, sometimes when we have questions, we kind of go blurry, fuzzy, confused. Like it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction, as if it's not okay to have questions about this topic. Or I don't know, if I'm afraid of what it might be revealed for me. Maybe I'm going to have to do some major change and I'm not ready. Or I don't necessarily want to know the truth if it's going to hurt or be disappointing. We spend a lot of time defending ourselves against doubt and disappointment. Believe me, actually, I have. Let me put it that way. I have spent an enormous amount of energy defending myself against doubt and disappointment or hurt feelings. You know, I don't want children to reject me. I want them to like me. I want them to trust me. So try to show up in their world as, trustable, stable, likable, honorable. Like what does trustable look like? On time, on schedule, respectful. Lisa says, and give us a tip, please. How will you stay grounded personally when you are in a different environment while you're at your niece's? Well, that's called what's the energy doing? And maybe that's the energy in my feet and opening up my feet and allowing myself to drop my energy down into my feet and out through my feet into the center point at divine, at the Mother Earth, that balance point in Mother Earth, and attach myself there. But it's also when I'm ungrounded, I might be negating something about myself that I need to stay centered, likable, whatever, authentic. And and I get a good rest. I eat regularly and often and enough. I don't I don't deny myself nutrition. And I came equipped. I brought lots of high protein snacks that work for my body. I brought two kinds of high protein powder so that I could just throw some almond milk and a blender thing, and I can make up a shake, and that like silences that hunger and keeps my blood sugar at a stable level. That I find very grounding. I do find that if I'm too full, it's harder to channel. So I need to be not ravenous, but not overfull. So somewhere in there, like satiated, so I can focus and not on my stomach. Um, those things make things predictable and stabilize me as a personality in a body. Um, and let's see, I'm not in my usual location. Uh, I have this feeling of commanding the space that I am. I have this feeling of commanding the space that I inhabit in my body and slightly around my body as being correct and who I'm supposed to be. I have this sense of a new place of confidence and trust in myself. And I'm inhabiting that 150%. Like, I'm not doubting it. I'm 67. Do you think it's time for me to stop doubting myself? I do. I put the doubt in like the divine's hands. You take care of that. I'm also standing in my power by asking those beings of light that work with me and through me that I may not even have names for, like Anubis or the Great Creatress or the Akashic beings of light. These are just beings of light that are sort of anonymous that are helping me. I'm having them go out and get people for my Divine Portal membership group. I'm having them go out and get people for the Living as Your Soul writing group that starts at the end of this month. And if you are at all interested in living as your soul and hearing your soul and having a stable, definable relationship with your soul and the divine, get into my Living as Your Soul writing group, which starts on Monday, October 27th, 5 p.m. Pacific to 7 p.m. Pacific. And if you sign up, we have an early bird special where you can save $125. That's a big savings. It knocks the price from 525 down to 400, and that is a very affordable price for this class. You get personal instruction with me. You get the energy and the presence and the focus of my guides on you, plus the way that this writing class unfolds and finalizes is just profound. It's it changes people's relationship with themselves and their souls. And that is a wanted and beloved thing, you know? So let's see. Um, but I think the stability that's coming through me now is from confidence in who I am is just right. It's not like over the top. It's not like running the show. It's not demanding. It's not dominating. I don't want to be dominated. I don't want to dominate anybody else. However, I do want to have good working relationships with people around me and with myself. I want to have a good working relationship with myself. Doesn't that seem accurate? Like, if there's any instability, it probably starts in me, right? So, what is it that in me that needs to be stabilized so that I can be in my own sync and accurately sorted while I'm in a different environment? And, you know, the channeling is here. I'm doing readings from here. I'm liking, really, really liking doing readings on the phone. You know why? Because I can close my eyes and watch the energy a lot more tightly. When I have my eyes open, there's a part of my focus that's outer directed. And when I'm doing readings, I want to be fully inner directed because that's where the information comes in. I want to be able to follow the energy and really transmit it accurately and see what I'm being shown and describe what I'm being shown to the client I'm reading for. So I like doing readings on the phone and they're so affordable. I had somebody record their reading on the phone on their iPad because they had it on the phone but they had their iPad on, they were recording on their iPad, but it was on the speaker on the phone, and so they can get both my voice and the client's voice was there. So everything was ended up on their iPad. It's kind of like how I'm doing this. I do these lives on Facebook, but I record them on Zoom while I'm doing them so that I have a copy because I'm not good at getting the video down from Facebook. I have not mastered that. And it just seemed like an extra step. Doing it on Zoom seemed to simplify the process for me, for my level of technical abilities, which is a little low, a little low. I'm doing okay, but thank God I have wonderful assistants who understand me and who help me do things that are over my technical abilities. Um, but it's the same thing. I do it in a way that works for me so that I can stay in the flow of the energy, so that I am not my own inner emergency, like too low blood sugar or too hungry or over full and can't pay attention. I do what works for me in every situation, and I prepare to take care of myself in a good way. Like I prepare snacks to have on the long plane ride so that I can keep myself happy and I'm not eating food that's not good for me, like things that have a lot of sugar and wheat in them or, just junk that's on the plane. It's just not, to me, it's not good food to eat, not for this body. And I am my instrument. So I have to take care of the instrument, so that I can be of use. So those are my tips for you. Let's see what's happening in the world of questions. Um, there's a wonderful gentleman who was here earlier, and I didn't get a question from him, and I'd love to see if there are any questions from him. And the way I watch this on Facebook on my laptop, it doesn't give me all the comments. So occasionally there are questions that I did not see until afterwards when I'm trying to go in and actually respond on Facebook directly or to you or even on YouTube, because I post these videos up on YouTube. And my YouTube channel has over 450 recordings. This is a huge body of knowledge and information and potential experiences for you. This is a free university for the budding psychic or channel. This is the free university, like the Akashic University. Maybe that's what we'll start opening up. The Akashic University. I'm always looking for new ideas. And then Lisa goes and executes them for me, makes it happen. What a team, what a team. Oh, and and then how do other people stay grounded when they're not in their normal environments? What do you do? What's the image that works for you? What is the energetic response to what's going on around you that works for you? These are really good questions. We can learn from each other. We are walking this path shoulder to shoulder. Nobody's better than another. And, we're doing this together, so we might as well inform each other. Um, oh dear, my phone got a little disconnected. Um, this is great. Um, they're showing me a review of the comments. Da-da-da-da. Wow, that's the best explanation of why difficulties happen in life. Um, my difficulties in life happen because I'm in conflict with myself and or another person. I think a case in point is the recent conflict I had with my older sister. And the three of us kids, my brother, my sister, and myself, were going to buy this piece of property. And it wasn't working to have my sister in there. And I got defensive and uppity, and I was pushing her out, and I was like, what's with me? Like, this is not my normal way of being. And I'm really trying to be open and inclusive and group minded and what's going to work best for the group and how can we accommodate each other. And I was coming from angry. I was coming from, she's going to get what I want and I'm going to lose out. That's not a great place to come from. That is like, I'm 6 and she's 9. And I am 67 and she's 70. So that is not the truth. Um, And she's a powerful personality, and she needs a certain amount of space for herself and for her stuff, and more space than I need for myself and my stuff. And I thought I was going to lose out on that space and that belongingness. And we've come to terms and we made peace just a couple of days ago, and we realized that we were both advocating for the best things for ourselves. And the truth was that property does not have the right energy for her. And it was just, she's the one that came up with that. I didn't, and she figured out for herself why it wasn't working for her. And it was almost like I was pushing her out so she wouldn't make a step into a situation that wasn't productive for her. And God bless her for having the bigness of heart to be able to see it that way instead of just like personalities, like a couple of sisters fighting me. You're wearing my scarf and you came in my room without my permission, and childish, right? And really, there was a bigger reason for that, and so. It's nice to see those things work out. So here we are. I'm wondering if there are any other questions. And even if you have no questions, perhaps you'd like to, um, okay, if you don't have questions, I'm going to tell you about the Living as Your Soul workshop. This class is where you learn to open your records, and it's based on my book, Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, an Akashic Records Guide to Living a Fulfilled Life. And chapter 15 is called Living as Your Soul. In about 2019, the guides said to me very clearly, like this was a focus. Living as your soul is now the priority. Living as your soul is now the priority. And I printed this out as a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, big tech type, and stuck it up on my vision board. Living as your soul is now the priority. And that's when I was channeling all the chapters for this book. And then there was a whole chapter called Living as Your Soul. And most chapters have 3, 6, 7 questions that you answer with your records open, because you're going to have a change in consciousness when you're in your Akashic record. You're going to be living, thinking, visualizing as your soul, and with the help of your Akashic Records team and the Akashic beings of light and the great creatress, these beings will be helping you while you have your records open to have a change in consciousness and start to experience things differently. Now, Living as Your Soul writing workshop teaches you how to be in the energy of your records, and it guides you with writing prompts that open up the energy so that you can get the imagery, you can get the change in sensation, you can get the knowingness that you need to have in your own personal soul's Akashic records, that you need to keep growing and to expand from here. And it is valuable, and it is so personally attuned. It is just right for you. And in this writing class, I have maybe personally attuned. Oops. It is just right for you. Okay, don't need that. In this writing. Anyway, so I didn't necessarily want to be on this page of the Facebook, but anyway, I'm sure if there's another question, you'll get it to me one way or another. Uh, in the class, you will go so deeply into your records, and you will begin to have a personal, direct relationship with your soul. And you can get the information you've always wanted to know. Why the heck did my soul choose 3 tubal pregnancies, a miscarriage, and a failed adoption where I had to return the baby? These are tough questions. You can finally put some information in the space in there that's been gnawing at you, right? For years. Um, what was the purpose of my relationship with this person? What was I learning there? And then all of a sudden I get the vision of a past life, and that was the the last time we were together, and it set up a situation where we both made a pact. It's better to suffer together than apart. Well, there's some premise problems in that. I mean, it's sort of like you're going to suffer, so um, why not suffer together, right? Uh, but it was also that we were, we literally were both slaves and we were chained together underneath the top deck of a slave ship, and the water was sloshing in on us, and urine and poop was traveling around us, and vomit, and we were being transported to Louisiana on this slave ship, and we were sick and we were seasick and we didn't know where we're going. We couldn't see anything. We were underneath in the bowels of this ship, and it was miserable. It was torture. It was the worst jail possible. And, you know, but the premise was like, we're gonna suffer, but we'll suffer better together. And in this lifetime, that premise had expired and it was no longer sustainable. And it wasn't a good enough reason to stay together. And that was the basis where we left off in that past life. And we now had to either go past that suffering and do some serious healing or let go of each other. I chose to let go. And that was one of the difficulties that happened in my life. But this is the kind of answers you can get in the Living as Your Soul writing class that makes things come clear, makes sense of why my soul put these elements into my experience so that I could enjoy this life. I could thrive in this life. And Living as Your Soul writing class starts Monday, October 27th, 5 p.m. Pacific to 7 p.m. Pacific. And if you pay today, it's only $400. And when you pay your tuition, then I start sending you all the information you need to know. I will have you read in my book, which teaches you drop in the mess. I I think that must be my indication that it's time to wrap it up. I'm going to have you read in my book chapters 1 and 2 to get you started. 1 and 2, because 1 is the introduction from the Akashic beings of light, and it sets the tone and it sort of explains the Akashic records, and it gives you a little background on me. If you don't know who I am, it'll give you a little background and it'll show you how this whole book got started. And then you read chapter 15, and that's Living as Your Soul. And it will give you an understanding of what we're up to in the class. And we will use some of those questions and even more than that. And there will be homework every week. And so we'll go over the homework the following week and we'll share with each other. We'll teach each other. And your expansions expand me, and my expansions expand you. And so we'll be sharing information so that we can all go up and have a better life. It's worth it. So that's Living as Your Soul writing workshop. And that starts October 27th. It's a Monday evening from 5 p.m. Pacific to 7 p.m. Pacific. It'd be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I would love to have you in my class. You would love to get yourself in this class. If you are trying to find that wise person inside you, which you know exists and you want to have access to, this is a great place to start. The other thing that's going to happen at the end of this month is on October 28th, Tuesday evenings or Tuesdays, the last Tuesday of the month, I'm going to be opening the Divine Portal. And that is a membership based class, experiential thing. I have an agenda that's so broad and so fun. I'm excited about it. I mean, I better be excited about it. I like the stuff that I teach. I don't teach you the stuff that I thought was boring and miserable because who wants that? I need to be enthusiastic about what I'm doing, so I bring you the stuff that I really enjoy. And I will teach you how to do past lives. We're going to learn right away how to talk to crystals. You'll get more information from a crystal than you'd ever thought possible. Um, and it will come so easily. And I'll teach you how to open your records in the membership portal, the Divine Portal, and and for 44 bucks a month, you'll learn energy skills, you'll learn Akashic Record skills, you'll learn seeing past life skills, you'll learn about letting go of ancestral influences. You'll Oh man, I've already got several weeks or several months worth of classes planned out, and they're going to be so much fun and so worth it. 44 bucks a month for the basic membership. If you want the high level membership, it's $66 a month, and then you get discounts on readings, so significant discounts so that you're getting readings for like $174, I think it is, instead of 204 or like that. So you will benefit not only from all the class material, but if you want private instruction or private sessions, then we can do those at really reasonable rates too. So that starts October 28th, 5 p.m. Pacific to 7 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be the Divine Portal membership thing is the last Tuesday evening of the month, once a month thing. So join me and let us grow together, right? And if you feel you've gotten something from today's live, please send some money my way on coffee. It's in the comments on Facebook, and I'll put it up on the YouTube channel as well. And throw a little bit my way because I do this as a living, and you get this for free on Facebook week in and week out. So I try to be real steady Eddie regular, and I've been doing this for like what, 5 years? 4 years, I don't know, a long time. Since I started the group page, that was probably 3 years ago. The meditations that I do at this 7:30 in the morning on my personal page, I've been doing those for about 5 years. So you can be part of it. And I could be really grateful for you send me a little cash. Oh, anyway, I love you all. If it weren't for you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that all of you are feeling your top-notch best. Bless your immune system these days. Bless it, bless it, bless it. And let's go. Thanks. Talk to you later. Thank you, folks on YouTube, for being here. Please do subscribe. Please do enjoy and share these videos. I'd be very grateful if you did that. And have a great day.